some other features in MoGraph. For example, we go and see fracture. Fracture is actually designed visually. There is no representation of fracture. This is just an axis. So fracture, where you will use fracture? Fracture is used actually to add different polygon objects so that you can control them using effectors. For example, I have these different polygon objects, and I will just change their sizes, and yeah, I will change it. I will make them editable poly, and I will add one more pyramid, and torus might be fine. So I will just select all of them and make them editable poly. Okay, in order to control them using effectors, we need to move them inside the fracture. So what we'll do is click and drag, put them inside the fracture. So instantly you can see now it is under the fracture, and it is taking the color of fracture. So we just change it to something dark blue. That's it. So now if we want to move them using our effectors, we come here and choose the random effector, and we make the value 0, and we just want to move them in y-axis. So you can see now it's applying it. We can add rotation, okay, and we can scale it up and down. One thing I want to share here, that these all things which I'm explaining now is actually just to make the software understand. From the second month we will start working on real-time projects which will help you in your professional field. For example, I will teach you how to animate a logo, and I will also create a full-fledged broadcast graphics package also in our third semester. So this is how you can control your different objects using fracture and MoGraph system and effectors. Same way you can apply it to the specific area. For example, our sphere, and why it is not visible here, because I believe it is very small. Oh sorry, not source, sphere. Yeah, so now you can see it's applying what is only inside the sphere. So as long as sphere touches the object, it starts affecting, and it comes out of this range, that object comes back to its original position. The next feature we are going to discuss is tracer. Tracer, as its name says, it traces object. For example, we have cubes, 1 and 2 cubes. So what we'll do is we create add these 2 cubes inside the tracer link. Nothing happens because we did not give a command. So in tracing mode, we come here and we add it connect all objects. So instantly you can see now the objects are connected. Okay, but we want only object to object connection, not all the vertices. So we come here and switch off this option, trace vertices. So now you can see that it's connected between 2 objects. So you can add as many objects as you want, like this one here, this one here, this one down. So now they are all on different positions, random positions. So what we'll do is come back to here. One way is just click and drag. Another way is select this one and select your objects in the viewport. And also you can change the sequence in the object. Okay, so now you can see every square is connected using splines. Currently this spline is just a one line, so this is not an object, so it will not be visible in your final render. So we have to make it object. So how you can make it? By adding it a sweep. So we're gonna see these things which I didn't explain before now, so it's a good chance to explain now. We come here and click and add sweep. So now this is our spline. So what we'll do is just click and drag inside the sweep. Still nothing happens because we did not define the shape. So we need to define the shape. For example, we need a circular shape. So we come here and click circle and click and bring down. So instantly you can see now the shape is created. It's very big. So what we'll do is select the circle and reduce the size. So now you can see we reduce it and we control it. So now this is procedural. Wherever you move your object, your spline is updated accordingly. So this is one of the feature of tracer. Today in MoGraph we get to know about fracture, tracer and more text. So let's go and see some of the features from this object. They are mainly connected to the spline. So for example, we create this spline, circular spline 1, and we duplicate this one. So and we want to use our loft. So what loft is? Loft is actually creates shape between two splines. For example, we come here and click and drag under the loft. So you can see instantly we have a cylindrical shape which has two objects. Okay, and we can just move it up and down and it's updated. This is actually one of the feature which you can use to model different objects. For example, if I will show you an example right now, let's bring them out so visually you can see. And I delete this circle and I want to be facing it the other direction, which is X and Z, and I bring it to the center. So I will come here, right click, and then I will click and drag inside the loft. Okay, so instantly you can see it make a polygon. Now I just click and drag and duplicate my circle and I will move it upward. Okay, and I want the lower one to be smaller in size, so I will just reduce it. Similar way, I will come here and duplicate the top one again, and the top one I will move it little bit up again. So you can see now I am getting some shapes. Okay, I'm using my scale tool now, shortcuts, and I will increase this one down. This is up, and I will just move it here and duplicate again and move it up again and make it little bit bigger, might be. Then the viewport, I just click and drag. You can see now in the viewport I click and drag, it creates a circle which is below in sequence, and I want it to be in the sequence, so I will move it down. So instantly you can see it's updated, and just reduce the shape and again move it up and reduce the shape. Okay, and up, and this is somehow our shape. Okay, so now it's up to your imagination how you create your imagination and how you design things. So this is the one way of modeling something which is in complicated shape, round shape, circular shape. Then again you come back to loft and you object, and you can change the number of segments. Okay, in U and Y. So now let's see what else we have. Extrusion is same. You click create a spline and you just click and drag under the extrude. So you know now you have a polygon shape which has depth and gaps properties. Fill a gap. This is your homework. You need to go and see what extrusion can do. Okay, using splines. So okay, but extrusion cannot take more than one spline in it, so you can use only one spline to create extrudes. For example, if you need to, if you create a circle also and you put it here, it will take the circle, not the rectangle, not the top one. If you bring this one, it is taking the top one. Okay, so extrude is actually working with only one object, one spline at a time. And similar way, you have lathe. Lathe is actually let me give you an example. For example, you have this shape, or we come to the front viewport and we draw some sketch, for example, something like this, something like this. Okay, and then we come back to perspective. So we have a shape now. So what we do is put it under the lathe. So lathe actually rotates your object in that specific angle. So if I come to my wireframe mode, and then I would come here and select my spline, so you can see now this is my spline, and I can modify my spline, and it's modifying my shape of the object. Okay, so this is one of the nice and easy to use tool